Good morning, everyone. It is Monday, and I have about 20 minutes before I hop on a call for an interview with a magazine that is literally like, it is my favourite magazine of all time. They're also one of my favourite magazines to follow on Instagram because I just find their account so inspiring, and the actual magazine itself is so beautiful. I can't put it into words. The magazine is Wildflower, and I feel like it's like not necessarily one of the most well-known, but for me, the inspiration that I take is unbelievable. And so I've got a very exciting interview with them this morning. So I'm going to hop on that call now. And I have quite a busy week. I mean, I've started the week busy anyway, but I've vlogged that for another vlog. I hope to get to the stables for Atlas's dinner time today, and I'm hoping to ride tomorrow. I've got a dentist appointment this week. I've got lots of stuff. I've got another interview this week at the house. There's a lot going on. I thought I'd show you my outfit before I hop on the call. This is my Beaufort and Blake sheep jumper, Doen jeans, and Fairfax and Favour boots. These are my favourite Fairfax and Favour boots at the moment, all thanks to the stylist at my Fairfax and Favour shoot. She literally inspired me so much. She pushed my comfort zones and put outfits on me that like I felt were a bit different, and now I wear boots and jeans like this all the time. So I'm very, very grateful to her. Also, I had a Vinted order arrive. I posted this on my Instagram, and I think that's something I'm gonna be doing moving forward, is showing my inspiration and then showing the piece that I buy on Vinted. I really, really liked that. I feel like there's gonna be a whole sort of subsect to my content that's like my old but new to me section. And this jacket is one that I've wanted to buy for so long, and this is one of those things that I just don't think you ever need to buy new. Certainly don't need to buy it like uber luxe design, because it's literally a barn coat. It's literally like a Barber come quilted jacket, super lightweight but a little bit more like warm. But one of the brands that I think is the biggest travesty that disappeared from England and Britain and the world is Aquascutum. Aquascutum is one of those fashion houses that was just intrinsically British and captured British style beautifully. It's really sad. I believe they were a royal warrant holder. The now king would wear their stuff a lot. Really focused on like classic silhouettes, smart, clean lines, good fabrics, and just workhorses in your wardrobe. And I finally went and purchased my like quilted jacket from Aquascutum. This is a navy with a leather collar, and I really liked the leather collar. You know, I wanted it a little bit more battered. I didn't want it to look pristine and new. I wanted it to be a little bit more lived in, because this is something I think we are going to see a lot more. So this, probably not with the jumper. I think this looked really nice with the t-shirt underneath it. But this was just basically one of those jackets that I thought, I really want it, and I've wanted it for a while. I don't want to buy it new. So I'm going to take someone else's trash and make it into my treasure. What I love about Aquascutum is their check pattern, because it has so many great neutrals in there. Navy, beige, taupe, and like a rich brown. This is the branding, if you haven't heard of it before, but it is just so beautiful. And this will be one of those jackets that you can wear with like leggings and knee-high boots. I can wear it to the stables, that kind of thing. And I got it for 20 quid. So I was very happy about that. But basically, I've been thinking a lot about this at the moment, and I know that people often do videos around like trends that they predict for the coming season, and I've never really done them because it's one of those things that it's like, it's not the world that I exist in fashion, if that makes sense. I don't look, nowadays anyway, that's for sure. I know we all change and we evolve, and I'm an evolving human being. I also look like Lord Farquaad with those bits hanging out there. But I think that there has been a huge amount of focus on what's trending. And what I've noticed is that when you wear things that are trending, there's this perception that you are stylish or at the forefront of fashion, and actually I'm predicting here that that is all going to change. I think that with what Vinted is doing, and I think Vinted sits very much at the forefront. I don't know how they've done this, because there's been eBay, there's been Vestiaire, there's been Depop, there's been so many of these sort of reselling websites, but there is something, I think it must be to do with the algorithm that Vinted has used, where it curates for you and makes shopping like enjoyable. I hate rummaging through things that I have no interest in. Whereas Vinted has this algorithmic base to it, which makes it really enjoyable. I also think on the whole, from what I've experienced, their end-to-end process from the seller to the buyer receiving is as flawless. It's not flawless, but as flawless as it can be. I know there will be horror stories everywhere, there always are, but I have had a really good experience. One person didn't ship what I ordered, and I got my money back. So far, touch wood, it's been amazing. I think that we're about to see the death of trends, and I think we're about to see the death of new like things all the time. And I think you're going to see a lot of personal style coming through. You're going to see people really honing what they like to wear, the quirkiness of their style, the intrigue that people have when it comes to personal style. And I think that shopping pre-loved is going to be the biggest element of that. It's going to be the best way to get something unique. It's going to be the best to get something that's good quality but for really good affordable value. And I think that people are going to find it a lot more enjoyable. I'm going to be so interested to see which brands adopt this. I think that Holland Cooper and the Superdry sort of branding has already moved in this direction with their vintage shop in London. I think that that's going to be something that you're going to start to see a lot more, where brands have their own almost like vintage platforms where they keep their own pre-loved items and sell them there. I might be wrong, but I do think that this is how it's going to move, because it's definitely how I'm feeling. Like, it doesn't mean that you're not buying something new, but when you're buying something new, it's because of a reason. It's not because it's easy. I am trying to be a little bit more like that, and I'm really enjoying it. And it's really teaching me not to go after trends in that way and look for those like more classic silhouettes, even more so, that I'm enjoying. So this was just something that I felt like it was an interesting topic, and it's definitely something that I've been seeing in my interiors for a long time, where I want to find interesting pieces that like are a bit different and old and battered, and I want my clothes to actually be used and loved. And so I think that's only natural that you would then see that move into fashion and style. And I think it's going to be super interesting to see unfold. But anyway, I need to hop on a call with Wildflower magazine and get cracking and chatting. I'm going to try and clear up my desk.
Hello, hello.
Hi.
Hi. It's always a relief when it works, isn't it? Oh, what a joy. You look like you're a bit cold there.
A bit, oh, it is cold. But you look like you're on holiday. That is so smart. So smart. Thank you for having me. I don't think you realise how much of a big fan I am of this magazine. Like, you have no idea. I've followed for so long. It's just blown me away. That my content now, it's done better than any of my fashion stuff ever has on there, so it's really exciting. And that really was the sort of catalyst for my career. I've definitely moved into more of the lifestyle element, and that encompasses both my personal style, the style of my home, and the style that I live my life in. I don't think I ever knew what peacefulness was. Instantly we thought, this is it. It rocked society as we knew it. I'm very lucky to be alive. And they all come together to create what will be the journey of your life. I have zero ambitions in horse riding other than to be a good horse mum. Good morning, everyone. The sun is shining and it has been a busy week. a very, very busy week that I have not taken you on my travels with. So I'm going to try not to tell you too much about what I've gotten up to, because I know that you don't necessarily like it when I tell you about something and don't show you. So I'll try and keep it short and sweet so that if I reference anything, you know what I'm talking about. But basically, most of this week has been spent in meetings, pretty much, like online meetings, whether those are interviews, brainstorming meetings, creative meetings, and that kind of thing. So quite a lot of boring things. I think I actually left you and I got off of one call, which was an interview, and went straight on to another call, which honestly, watching me yap, it's just not that fun. So I didn't film any of those things. And then I ended up going to the dentist, and you are probably going to be sick of hearing about this, but you'll know I've kind of been unhappy with how my teeth look for a while, and I've had a few attempts at my teeth. I actually went and had a consultation at a local dentist a few months ago. I think it was probably the end of last year, and pretty much they scared me out of the clinic. The guy said to me, okay, so you're going to need to have lingual braces, you're going to need to have your wisdom teeth removed, and you're going to need elastic bands. And to be honest, as someone who is so overly sensitive to their mouth, I was practically running out of there. So it was really nice to go somewhere that I went yesterday, and it almost felt like they were creating a plan specifically for me. I'm not easy when it comes to things in my mouth like that, and so I am a more difficult, not difficult in the unreasonable sense, but I'm just a more complicated case. Some people will embrace complications, and some people are completely flustered by them. This very much felt like they were looking to tailor what they do so that it suited me, which I never expect, but it's also really welcomed when that happens. And it looks like I should be receiving my treatment plan very soon, and then I can sort of tell you a little bit more about it. But I don't want perfect teeth, and I'm almost glad that it's taken me until this point to realise that I actually don't want my teeth to look perfect. I still want my teeth to look like they're my teeth. I would just like to improve it. I know I've spoken a lot over the years about this tooth that looks like I don't actually have a tooth there. I would like to just make it at least look like the tooth is there. That would be great. My little chomper tooth. So just little tweakments. It's not a huge invasive thing, and actually it feels like it's going to be a lot more manageable for me as a person. I'm really, really looking forward to that. You can hear we've got a busy house today. We've got lots of people downstairs getting bits and pieces in and that kind of thing, so it's a lot. But I wanted to show you, did I have anything else to tell you about what's been going on? I don't think so. Other than that, it would just be me telling you about things that I've been doing, but in all honesty, I didn't show you. So we move. One of the other things I wanted to tell you about is this is a new little revelation for me. So I don't know if you're anything like me, but I really love the way my hair is when I've got my sunglasses on top of my head. And I've seen the hairbands, they're supposed to look like you've got sunglasses. I think they're a bit silly. I don't know if they work. And I don't want to put my sunglasses on the top of my head because that ruins them. However, I bought these glasses a few months ago from Amazon. They're blue light glasses. They're a copy of the Miu Miu ones, and they are absolutely filthy. But I'm trying to get into the habit of wearing my blue light glasses a little bit more. And I realised the other day that if I have these on top of my head, like so, I like how my hair looks, but they're also always there for me to just take the edge off when I'm doing work on my phone, and I have been using them so much more. I'm not great with them, and I often feel a bit silly. It's not that I want to wear glasses, I'm just trying to do what's best for my health and my eyes, and as someone that uses their phone and their computer and all of that kind of stuff a lot, I just want to take the edge off. So this is working really well for me, and because these are cheap, I don't mind about the fact that they might get a little bit stretched, but in all honesty, I think these are like those elasticated ones, so they haven't stretched a single bit. Look, they're not coming off, and so it's almost like a double whammy. But I wanted to show you a quick little old but new to me haul, because I bought two things from Vinted, I've had a gift of one thing, and I bought myself something that you would have seen in my Ireland video if you missed it when I went to Ballyfin. I bought myself something. All old, all second-hand, and all a little bit battered. And so I thought I'd start things off with the shirt that I'm wearing today. This is a really lovely little sort of pastel butter yellow Ralph Lauren shirt. I paid a little bit more than normal, I would say, on Vinted for this, but I saw a green shirt on there and I haggled on the price and it sold, and it was instant regret. And it was like £10 and I offered 8. And I was like, Lydia, you should have just paid the £10. Stop being. So I ended up paying a little bit more for this because I didn't want to lose it, because I really loved the colour of it and I loved the shape. And the Oxfords from Wildflower are really good. So I got it. It was about £30, this one. It was in such good condition that I didn't mind. So this is my first old but new to me little purchase from Vinted, and then I'll show you the other purchase as well. I thought I'd zoom you out a little bit so that you can see it a little bit better there, but it's quite long. I think this is a size up for me because I wanted it a bit bigger and to cover my bottom. You know, you never know. But the other thing that arrived was my Aquascutum quilted coat. So that's my other old but new to me purchase from Vinted, which I absolutely love. Honestly, I'm just loving vintage shopping at the moment. It's so much fun. Obviously, earlier on in the video, I spoke to you about the whole, like, how I think things are moving, and I just think there's so carnage, absolute carnage. Anyway, those were just my thoughts about it. Sorry, that was a bit of carnage there for a moment. We had the door going, we had the leaf blower on, we had things being screwed downstairs. So I thought I'd show you those bits and pieces that I got from Vinted. But yeah, I would really like to sort of see something on Vinted that's like, I don't know, I have ideas, and I always get told off by my team because I put my ideas out there into the world and then other people go and do them. But I get so excited about these things. Anyway, the next thing was a gift. So this was a gift from Carrie and her partner. Basically, you'll know I love the Spode blueware at Ballyfin that they have at breakfast. And whilst I'm not in the position for an entire Spode set just yet, I think that would be like future house vibes. I think this particular piece sits really nicely in our current crockery. They look really lovely in like cups of coffee, but also if we were to do like an affogato or something like that, really lovely in that, like desserts. But they treated me to some antique Spode spoons, and these are the actual spoons that they have at Ballyfin. So a lovely little memento there of our time at Ballyfin. And then you'll be pleased to know I found a butter dish. So this is the particular butter dish that they have at Ballyfin. Carrie's partner found one of these on eBay and it looked like this when it arrived. This is how it looked before, and I've given it a polish with some silver polish and it's come up like brand new, just in time because the blackberry bushes in my garden are erupting. I've already had one full harvest from them. Ali did a harvest whilst I was at the dentist yesterday for me, and my idea, I found the most wonderful recipe for blackberry butter, and I am so excited for this because I'm not a huge jam person. Jam is quite sweet for me, so when I have like cream teas or things like that, I often put a really small amount of jam on top of the clotted cream. I love the idea of having like a sweeter butter but still with that salty element to it. I haven't made it yet. I thought we could make it like in this video. So I'm gonna go to shops today because I want to actually make the butter. All the recipes that I found are just like adding to the butter, but it gives me a lot of joy when I'm able to say that I churned my own butter. And I really want to do that with these particular blackberries because we've grown them. I'd like to churn the butter and then add the blackberries from our garden, because then it's obviously, other than milking the cow, which we don't have. I would love, we don't have. I would like to churn it into butter, and then I can pop it in my little dish like this, and I can serve it in my perfectly little chilled butter dish. So I am super excited for this. I want to find like 1 or 2 more of these because I did manage to get them a lot less expensive than at Ballyfin, and I would prefer to do it that way. But yeah, so blackberry butter is on the cards. Oh, I feel like I've changed 100 times today because the weather is so all over the place. It's like 1 minute it's a bit chilly, the next minute it's boiling hot and sunny, and I don't know what to do with myself. Right now I'm in jeans and a strapless top because I'm absolutely roasting, but it's been the most fantastic day. We have a new house. When I say we, the chickens have a new house. Ali has been working so hard over the last few days to build them a new coop and redo all of the wood chip as well that's on the ground. Their last coop, I would say, was a bit of a disappointment, and we ended up, it's not even lasted us, what, 2 years? So we ended up getting something from Flight So Fancy, and to be honest, that was the other company that we looked at when we were buying a coop, but you had to build them yourself, whereas this other place, they came and built it for you, so it was that was a real plus. The build yourself ones are so much better. The quality is unbelievable. Ali's built it and she's gonna give you a tour on his channel. So if that's live, I'll link it down below. If not, you might have to wait a little bit longer. I've spent the day in the garden giving everything a good feed and a bit of a tidy up, but nothing major. And we have also started, well, I mean, the bar, we had a big old meeting about the bar. My Belfast sink went in. Oh my gosh, it's just, I'm so happy. We were going to put a copper sink in, but we ended up just going with Belfast, and I'm so happy. So there might be a little bit of a lull in the building of the bar now whilst we wait for our interior designer to come back from holiday, and then hopefully things will pick up again. But I'll take you downstairs and show it as well. I have been harvesting seeds from my sweet peas to hopefully grow for next year, and I'm going to dry them out on this little drying rack here. I've also cleaned up my garlic that I mean, it hasn't done the best, but I've got a few good bulbs in there. I think we'll actually use all of them because we're just a family of 2. These little ones will be kind of useful, because sometimes you get a massive bulb of garlic or segment of garlic and it's like, you just don't need that much. And Ali's quite sensitive to garlic anyway, so we've been doing that. I've been feeding my tomatoes, I've been doing lots of stuff in here, and having a good old feed up in the beds. The only thing that needs to come out at the moment is my sweet peas on this side. I think they are well and truly gone. We've got a few left in us on this side before they come out. All I can show you right now is this. And it is looking so smart in here. Those staddle stones make me so happy. I hope you're happy, girls. I hope you're happy, Beatrix. And you, Marigold. Oh, your fluffy bottom. Everyone's coming to inspect. If you want to see the full thing, you'll have to go onto Ali's channel to see it. It's the poshest chicken coop I have ever seen. You know it's posh when they want to put their name to it like that. So very, very happy. Madam, I don't think you're supposed to be going in there. It's not yours to inspect. Come on, Lulu, you have literally every room in the house. The chickens can have one place. Come on. I have to say that this bench has almost become a favourite little spot for them. They're always around here doing little bits and pieces. There's the rebel, Olive. Absolutely feral, that chicken. Never known anything like it in my life. Constantly acts like she's never been fed before, when she literally eats everyone's food. She's just all over the shop. And then there is Sweet Pea, who is just thriving. Her tail is growing in so beautifully at the moment, and although she's not perfectly integrated, she has moments where she joins the flock. So she is getting there. I think once she's just all grown in and is looking like a proper chicken, I think she'll be fine, but she's doing so well. Hello, Sweet Pea! We love you, Sweet Pea! We love you, Sweet Pea! We love you! Oh my goodness me! What a day! Can't believe how busy it sometimes gets at our house, and I feel like today is one of those days where it's just nuts, absolutely nuts. So I'm running very, very quickly to Waitrose, my favourite.
Those characteristics.
Don't judge me, but when I can't, like when I feel a little bit like I'm not getting sleepy, but like when I feel a bit too relaxed, I put on LBC because it makes me angry. And it's like, honestly, we found this out on a journey once. It just kind of perks you up. Like, I think it keeps you alert. It's not one of those things that I would suggest if you're like falling asleep, pull over and don't drive. But to keep me like, I don't know how to explain this so that I don't get cancelled, but I'm not falling asleep. It's just like, I'm just a little bit too relaxed and I need to feel a little bit perkier. I often argue with the people on the show, and it's wondrous. It's absolutely wondrous. I wouldn't recommend it if you're wanting to have some downtime or anything like that. Anyway, I'm currently heading to Waitrose because I want to pick up the cream to make the butter, and I need to pick up some other bits and pieces as well. I need to make some snacks. We've not had any good, healthy, non-UPF snacks in the house for a long time when they're homemade and that kind of thing, so I want to pick some bits up. Basically, I just want an excuse to go to Waitrose, okay, because I love Waitrose and it makes me so happy when I get to go there and do my big food shop. So I'm gonna go and do that with you now. Okay, we have arrived to the Mecca. My famous last words are the fact that I'm gonna go in and just get cream and perhaps some dates and literally nothing else. Famous last words, famous last words. We've already fallen at the first hurdle. We've got wonky carrots and they're supporting British growers and reducing waste and are just as tasty. Why would I not? I definitely don't need hummus, but we're buying hummus, so there you go. These are hands down the best dates for making any treats with, so I'm gonna get about 3 bags. No, I think even 4. They're so good. This is so interesting. Whole food gut supplement, 30 plants, 1 scoop a day. How many kidneys do I have to sell in order to purchase it? That is the question. I'm currently that TikTok. You look happier. Thanks. I went shopping in Waitrose. Okay, we've got the goods. I actually got some whipping cream as well so that I could do it quite whipped, but I also have the double cream to make the butter. Definitely gonna pick up 4 of these so I can make some snacks. Don't ask why I need 4. Completely irrelevant. It would of course be rude of me not to come to the wine aisle. Oh. Salsa. Don't mind if I do. This was the one that I really, really liked, so I'm gonna stock up on this. Very happy about that. Oh, we've got the goods. We've got the goods. I actually think I was quite restrained. I didn't buy any flowers at the flower stall. I didn't buy any crisps. I did buy wine, but you don't have to worry about that. Okay, I'm home and I'm going to start off my evening. I say start off my evening. I've definitely just made 2 doughs whilst you've not been here. Now I'm going to make the butter first and foremost. I'm going to rinse it as well. I'm also going to go and turn off the washing machine, because it's beeping in the background and it will send me potty. Bear with. Hi. I bought 2 tubs of double cream and also 2 tubs of whipping cream. Seems like you can use both. So we're just gonna go with the double cream because I've used that before and in all honesty, it was so good. If you don't know, I'm using my Thermomix for this. I tell you about my Thermomix all the time, but if you're someone that is looking at trying to get more into cooking, I would highly recommend. If you're someone that really struggles following recipes, that's why I use it so much. I'm not very good at following like normal list recipes. I find it very confusing. Lists in general, I'm just not great with. But especially like a recipe, I find websites that do recipes are chaos for my mind. And this is honestly the best way to follow things. I always tweak things and I change things up a little bit and that kind of thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the butter in my Thermomix, and then I'm just going to pretty much just like mix in the blackberries into the butter in the way of a recipe that I found online. We're going to see how it goes. It might go terribly. Then what I'll do is I'll freeze them. That's generally what I'm going to do. Anyway, ignore me. I'm just going to get into the recipe because the recipe is very simple. It is basically just this stuff. And then I will preserve the buttermilk as well. I've got some little jars here and I think Ali has it on his coffee, so I think that's a good idea. We're gonna go, it says 500 grams, but we're gonna go with 600 grams because that's what's in the pot. Okay. In that. Leave it to do its thing. So you can prolong it. Ooh. I don't think that's particularly, is that separated? I don't know if that is. No. Let's do another minute. That's a bit better. Do we have buttermilk now? It looks more like butter. Yeah, there we go. I always have these little, what's it called, funnels, so that when I make the butter, I can just easily get the buttermilk into a glass bottle like so. And this can go straight in the fridge. and I can then rinse the butter. Ooh, my alarm for my next stretch and fold. So I've been watching all of the old techniques for washing your butter on YouTube, and I'm going to pop some ice into this bowl with some water and then pop the butter in there and just sort of knead the butter until the water is clear. I might have to do this a few times, but it is going to be worth it, and then it will be blackberry time. So apparently you have the ice because it stops the butter from melting. Yes, Princess Pudding. Okay. Oh wow, it does stop the butter from melting. This is fascinating. Wow, this is my first time doing this. My last supply lasted me so well. And you're just, wow, it's gone so cloudy. Oh my gosh, this is so cold on my fingers. Just kind of pick up the bits of butter. Okay, this is the least enjoyable. Feels nice to begin with, and then it feels cold. You kind of, so you can see the buttermilk coming out of it. Oh, that is ice cold. It's actually made my heart feel funny because it's obviously, oh, okay, a little bit too cold, I think. Maybe a bit too much ice. It's like made my blood run cold. I know, my love, I know. So as you can see, can you see? No, you can't see. That is very murky water. So we need to do it again. Maybe we don't need quite so much ice this time. Right, let's wash again. How on earth people get all of the buttermilk out literally blows my mind. I'm gonna do it one more time and that is it. So I have a punnet of blackberries. These were picked by Ali yesterday. Honestly, it made my heart sing. I'm gonna give these a wash and I'm just gonna sort of, I think, try and add to taste, but it says go for 1/4 cup. So I'll give them a wash and then see how we get on. 1/4 cup, that's not a lot at all. These blackberries are gonna go further than I thought. I think we're gonna go 1/3 cup. Now apparently this butter goes really well with meats as well, and I do remember a time where I've had blackberries with like a meat thing. But what I'm going to do with this is I'm just gonna freeze it in the same way that I did my herb butter and take it out for when you want something, but we'll see how it tastes and see how it goes on to a fresh, crusty sourdough, I would say. I'm kind of squidging these in because I want to get, okay, that will do. So I'm gonna give this a whip in here. Blackberries going in to the butter. Ta-da! Lid on. Zero fade. Oh, it smells good. Oh, wow. Oh my gosh, it looks sensational. Pink butter. Oh, okay. This is going into my super cubes and is being frozen immediately. So I've got my super cubes. Now, obviously, I want this butter to fit into here. So amazingly, it fits. Now it will be too deep, so there's little measuring lines. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, so there's different measuring lines. So I'm actually gonna do a halfway fill on each of these for butter dish, but then I'm going to do some bigger ones elsewhere, pretty much. Does that make sense? I feel like I can't talk this evening. Where's my spatula? Oh my goodness, this is so gorgeous. So you want to obviously really work this in to the cubes. I'm going to try and get as much in as possible. I need a smaller spatula, one that can like get in here. It's very hard filling these halfway, not gonna lie. Oh, but it looks so pretty. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. so messy, but it's worth it. It's worth it for butter. Everything is worth it for butter. Those are going to go into that one and into the freezer, like so. And then the rest of it will go into my sticks of butter, just because, you know, you never know. I think this will probably be one of those things where you're like, when you've got a few people over, maybe you're having like, imagine this with like a croissant or something like that. Oh my God, I'm making my mouth water. I need to learn how to use these super cubes for butter properly, because I'm terrible at spreading them, but I want them to look nice. I'm making a right pig's ear of this one. I think we're only gonna get one stick out of this. God, I might have to make more. It's a good job I bought more cream, isn't it? Oh, what a joyful, joyful experience this is. And the rest of this, I'm going to put into a pot and actually have it. Probably just about enough to spread on some toast in the morning. So do you know what? I'm going to put it in my butter dish. Wow, that is so good. Oh my gosh. I'm having it on some bread. I'm having it on some bread. Good morning, everyone. Making blackberry butter by night and getting dressed up and heading to London by day. And this is my outfit to head to London. I've got a day of meetings and a day of celebrating. We're just celebrating. We're celebrating a good month. I am rushing around because I am. Unforeseen circumstances this morning, which I will talk to you about later. And just, you know, the usual. But I'm wearing my dress from Zara, and I'm going to wear heels today as well, because I actually think that I fancy it. Because nowadays, in my older life, you don't really go out that much. And so we generally tend to sort of tack things on. Sorry, I'm trying to find my rings. Where are you? Where's my other ring? Yeah, so you generally tend to sort of tack things on to work things in London. So we usually end up going for drinks. I mean, I'm seeing 3 of the loveliest people today. I feel so lucky. This is definitely one of those cultures that I miss about pre-COVID life, and I fully took it for granted, is we used to do Fridays in London, meeting all of the incredible like PRs and marketing teams in London. And now that a lot of people work from home, you don't necessarily get that opportunity as much, and we just generally tend to like meet with the people that we're super close with. Does the basket bag go with the heels? Is it the vibe? And so I'm meeting 3 different clients this morning, which I'm super excited about, and I'm going out of focus. You need to focus on me. So yes, celebrating a really good month afterwards as well with friends. So there's going to be lots of wine and that kind of thing. My bag is packed, outfit is on, the Alexander McQueen belt era is fully back, and I am ready to go to London. So let's hi-ho silver, if that's the word. I thought I was going to tell you something. What am I doing today that's, I feel like I was going to tell you something, but I'll tell you later. I can't remember what we're talking about. Who am I? What day is it? Have a good day. Thank you very much. Well, we've made it to London and we're starting off the day with Hobbs, and we are going to the Dover, which is very nice. And actually, funnily enough, it's next to a place called Bagatelle, and once I went there. It was very me.
What, Bagatelle?
Yeah. Oh, look at this. That's a very cute little step there. I like that. Very pretty. Well, I think the Dover wins when it comes to Caesar salads. As you know, Carrie and I take our Caesar salads very seriously. However, Carrie just said it completely correctly. This is like a foot long from Subway, but make it bougie. Meeting number 1 finished. We were meeting with the lovely lady from Hobbs, and it's one of those meetings that I always look forward to. We have such a lovely time. We're all like kindred spirits, very like curious women about life and thought processes, which is always lovely. But now we are heading to our second meeting of the day, which we're meeting a new face, which is very exciting. And we are looking at my crazy best friend running down the street trying to get a cab. That one's light is definitely on, Carrie. Oh. You were wrong. Oh. No, it's on. one's light is definitely on.
Oh, I thought you said off.
Thanks.
Sorry. Thank you so much.
Fast forward to the Nomad. It's had a little bit of a revamp. It's very different. They used to have like booths here. It's a lot more spacious. I love it. But we're here in the daytime, and of course, because at the moment we're on our Oysters hype, and we were all in agreement that Oysters is what we're going for. But I'm very excited for this. Very, very excited.
You realise how not to.
They're very good. Yeah. Give it a little loosen. Oh, and then have a sip of your wine. This is like the epitome of like, oh. It's like, oh. Oh, that's delicious. This smells so good.
You can put it in your
Pizza oven. I've got, and yeah, this is such a good idea. Wow. Good morning. I am just taking my blackberry butter out of the freezer after I froze it a few days ago. I'm now back from London, obviously, and I had to show it to you because this is your sign to make blackberry butter. I had it this morning on sourdough toast, and when I tell you it is exquisite, I truly mean it. I think you'll love it. It's such a lovely way to sort of zhuzh up butter. It would be perfect as like a little snack as well. Kids would love it because it's pink and it's so pretty, but I am over the moon. So I'm going to pop these into some freezer bags and I'm going to make some more. Not my usual state that I would come on camera, but I wanted to show you my outfit because this is one of my favorite outfits of the moment. These are the new Oxford shirts from Holland Cooper, and honestly, I'm yet to find an outfit that they just don't look good with. And this is one of my everyday outfits at home as someone who works from home a lot of the time when I want to still be presentable, but like not fully dressed up. A good pair of jeans. These are actually a pair of Levi's rib cage jeans, and they're slightly cropped, and they've been in my wardrobe for ages and I haven't worn them. They are so comfortable and yet so high-waisted. If you wanted something that was sort of similar to my Doen jeans, which I know are sold out, then I would say that these are the closest. They don't have the same wash. What I love about my Doen jeans is that they have this like muddy wash to them. This is a little less muddy, but it's still a super classic wash and a super classic shape. Really good for like with pointed flats and things like that. Like I would probably put these with, what pointed flats did I put these with? I'd probably put these with a tan pointed flat, to be honest, if I was going to wear these around the house, just because I always find that pointed flats are super flattering. But this is the kind of thing that I would go for, and then have a bag to match, or probably like a wicker bag. But these shirts, the quality is exquisite. So I'll link these down below. I think most of them are sold out, but I think that the white classic is still in stock, I believe. But this is my favourite. It's my favourite for Ali to wear as well. If you are looking for something for your partner, the men's shirts at Holland Cooper are just exquisite, and the branding is so lovely. It is hair wash day, so you're going to have to bear with me because my hair is quite wavy today, although I'm still trying to get to that point where I'm happy to leave it like this. And I also haven't got makeup on my face. But I've spent the majority of the weekend either with friends or with Atlas, and I had the loveliest ride yesterday. At the moment, I need to sort of bring you up to speed with me and Atlas, because I feel like because I do the same hacks every single time pretty much, me sharing my everyday life with him, I felt like it was getting a bit monotonous. So at the moment, it's very much like I go and see him usually between 2 or 3 times a week if I'm not busy. If I'm busy, it can be a lot harder, but he's always like completely looked after, which I'm really lucky to be able to have. But I don't necessarily show too much. And I think it's because I'm realizing that not everything is necessarily for the internet. And I'll still show you bits and pieces, but every time I go and see him, I don't need to obviously share it, because it's the same thing. I go see him, I'll give him a carrot, I tack him up, we go on a hike, he's a very good boy, he has his dinner, and then I put him in the field. So it's quite samey, but my confidence is growing so much. And I think what I was going to say is that I've worked on my riding confidence loads, but I want to work on my groundwork with him, because this is one thing that I have not shied away from saying, is that he's so big. Whenever I say to anyone that he's 17.3, everyone's reaction is the same. They're like, wow, that is police horse size. And I'm like, yeah, well, he is an ex-police horse. And so I'm focusing on just working around him and how he is as a horse, because I want him to be safe, I want him to be lovely to be around, and so that's like my next goal. Whereas I'm a lot more competent in the saddle and riding with him now, I think actually one of the things that I want to focus on is his like manners and etiquette on the ground. Basically, I've been talking to Charlie about it as well, and she's been offering me like tips and tricks and things like that. But the blackberry butter, oh my gosh, I almost think I broke the internet with it as well. I didn't break the internet, but I shared it and lots of people enjoyed it. And it's one of those recipes that I think it's the reason why it's so enjoyable is because I think anyone can do it. Making butter is so easy, and then just whipping in some blackberries is so wonderful. It's really good if you don't like really sweet things. Like for me, I don't eat a lot of jam because it's so sugary, whereas this is almost like a really nice option for like a not so sugary but still fruity spread. Love it, and it's beautiful, perfect for gifting, all of that kind of thing. But before I finish this video, I wanted to touch on something because I completely forgot to talk about it, because obviously, as I mentioned, I've not been online as much as I normally would be, and I did think that we were maybe past this, but it's okay, it's fine, because it always gives me an opportunity to talk about it and also just refresh people. Just as an FYI, I am about to chat to you about pregnancy, and I know that some people find that an uncomfortable discussion to have and a difficult topic. And so if you don't want to listen to someone talk about pregnancy and also perhaps talk openly about uncertainty around pregnancy, then this definitely isn't a section for you. And I would say to just jump off the video, because that's probably the best self-care that you can give yourself at this moment in time. But I do want to have this discussion in my video, and I hope that we are able to have a little discussion in the comments as well. But anyway, let's get into it. Because when I started taking the one video a week, there was some speculation that I was doing so because I was pregnant. And there was people saying that they've seen videos of me. I don't know whether it was maybe just a day where I was a little bit more bloated, I don't know. But I thought that I would just, as always, because one thing I always say is that this part of the internet for me is a space where we can talk about pregnancy and we can talk about whether we are pregnant or not. That's just my personal choice for my space on the internet. It is something that you can ask. It doesn't offend me, it doesn't upset me, and it isn't something that I find rude. Other people might, and so it is something to be mindful of. But I am letting you know explicitly that we can talk about it and you can ask questions. I do want to put your minds at rest that I am not pregnant, and it wouldn't also be something that I would choose to personally in my own journey if I was to be pregnant. It wouldn't be something that I would choose to hide. I think that I would personally on my own journey, if I was ever to get pregnant, it would be something that I would choose to share from the word go. Just with how I've thought about it and how I think I would approach things, I think it would probably cause me more difficulty and nervousness trying to hide something like that. And so I would be open with you. I would let you know. I wouldn't take time off the internet. I wouldn't try and lead you down the garden path by holding a glass of wine. I wouldn't do that, because as I've always said, for me, it's important to be able to have conversations, even if those conversations are difficult or uncomfortable or sad or heartbreaking. I hope to be able to always have the conversation, and I want you to know that we can always have the conversation about anything, in all honesty. And this is one of those things that I've thought a lot about as a 37-year-old woman who doesn't have children. It's obviously something that I think about a lot. It's obviously something that comes up a lot and people talk about a lot. And I realised that my stance on things is a little bit different. And I have a slightly different approach when it comes to my thoughts around pregnancy. And my personal thoughts are that right now, both Ali and I are super happy in the life that we have. And we honestly always say to each other, it feels wrong to even think about wanting more than what we've already got, because we're already so happy. We love the dynamic of our lives. We love our animals, and we love the dynamic that having animals gives us. Whereas when perhaps we are with friends that have children, it's not a dynamic, whilst we love being with them, it's not a dynamic that we think suits us as people. That might change, and it might be something that we regret. I don't think I will though, because I'm making a decision that feels comfortable to me right now, and I don't really believe in regrets about anything. We're just really happy, and I want to make sure that if I do ever one day want to have children, I want it to be something that I really want, and it's not something that I feel I have to have. And so being able to talk about that and share my thoughts is something that I've realized often helps a lot of other people that might be confused. And so this is a space where we can talk about it. You can ask. You don't have to have a go at someone if they ask in the comments. I am explicitly saying that you don't have to ask, because I will tell you. But if you do ask, it gives me the opportunity to have the conversation, and I really welcome having conversations about this topic, because I think that it's, for me personally, it's helped me make sense of things over the years, having these conversations with other women. And I also understand that this could be very unsettling for people that, obviously I know it can be upsetting for women that maybe are in the position where they can't have children and or having difficulties, but I still think it's really important that there should be some spaces where we can have the conversations around confusion, uncertainty, and those kinds of things too. So I just try to provide the flip side to the pregnancy discussion, where it's a safe space to just chat, say what you're thinking, say what you're worried about, say what you're unsure about, perhaps speak to other people in the same position as you, or hear my thoughts and see what you think. So yeah, just to clarify it, that I'm not, and I have no plans to at the moment, and that could change, but at the moment it hasn't changed, and I'm 37, and maybe if it changes in the future, it will just mean that perhaps if I was to have children, it would be not the normal way to have children, not the conventional way, but still, it's just not on the cards. So I just thought I'd clear that up going into a new week, because I wouldn't want you thinking that I'm hiding anything like that. Not that anyway. I mean, I'm working on things that you could think of as, you know, my next thing. But it's not a child. I'm not with a child. So anyway, I will see you guys in my next video. Like I said, things are still going to be a little bit uncertain on this channel. So if there isn't a video, please don't get worried about me. It is just because there's a lot going on at the moment. So yeah, anyway, I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.